You know that feeling? We've all been there. That moment, you are just utterly convinced that if you drink one more greens powder, if you choke down one more spoonful of that special yogurt.
Oh, yeah, the one that costs $10 a tub.
Exactly. You think your digestive system will finally, ascend, reach its full glory.
And
Instead, you just feel like a perpetually inflated balloon animal that's struggling to get through a Tuesday.
And look, here's the brutal truth. The very things everyone tells you to eat, all that fiber, the low-fat, everything, the constant snacking, that's often the precise reason your gut is staging a massive internal revolt.
So conventional wisdom is basically wrong.
It's often completely backward.
Okay, so that's our deep dive today. We've gathered some really surprising insights that suggest we are actively sabotaging our own bodies with so-called health habits.
Our mission is to unpack the 8 biggest mistakes. And it really boils down to 2 things: feeding the wrong microbes and systematically disabling your body's own defenses.
And, spoiler alert, snacking is terrible. Your body wastes so much energy trying to process a constant stream of food.
It really does. The gut needs to process, and then it needs to rest, to reset. When you're just shoveling things in all day, it never gets a break.
Let's start with what might be the biggest betrayal in modern nutrition.
Let's do it.
Mistake number 1, relying on fiber. There's like the sacred cow of gut health, right? It's on every cereal box.
It is, and the theory, on paper, it makes sense. Fiber is a prebiotic, which feeds the good microbes, the probiotics, and boom, inner harmony.
But that's not the reality.
Not for many people.
Yeah.
The reality is fiber can feed the wrong microbes. The issue isn't really the fiber itself. It's the state of your gut lining.
Okay, explain that.
If you're already walking around with some internal damage, some inflammation, eating a ton of fiber, especially that raw, dense kind.
Like a big kale salad.
Exactly. It is exactly like rubbing coarse sandpaper on an internal wound.
Wow. Sandpaper, that image, that explains so much. It explains the bloating, the gas that people feel like immediately after a big salad.
Precisely. It's pure inflammatory friction. That gas you feel. That's fermentation happening where it really shouldn't be.
So what's the alternative? Do you just stop eating vegetables?
No, not at all. You just have to be smarter about it. You can lower your fiber intake for a while, or a much better option is to switch to steamed or cooked vegetables. That starts to break them down, makes them easier to handle.
Okay, that makes sense.
Or, even better, pivot to fermented fiber, things like sauerkraut or kimchi. The fermentation process basically pre-digests it for you.
And I know you mentioned a more extreme option for people who are really inflamed and just want to hit a reset button.
Yeah, the carnivore approach. That's the ultimate elimination diet. You remove all those potential plant irritants, the gluten, oxalates, all of it.
But how does just eating meat help heal the lining?
Well, besides removing the irritants, it can increase your body's circulating glutamine. And glutamine is the primary amino acid the body uses to heal the gut lining. You're giving it the building blocks to repair the damage from the sandpaper.
Got it. Stop irritating the wound, start rebuilding the wall. Which leads perfectly into mistake number 2, bad probiotics and that low-fat yogurt trap.
Ah, yes. The classic I'm fixing my gut shopping list.
You grab a tub of low-fat yogurt because, fat is bad, and maybe a cheap probiotic off the shelf.
And you've just created a perfect storm for failure. First, most of those commercial probiotics, the dose is too small, the strains are too weak. They don't make any measurable permanent difference.
And the yogurt.
The low-fat yogurt is even worse. They take the fat out, and with it goes all the flavor and texture. So what do? They pump it full of sugar, starches, maltodextrin.
So you're literally feeding the bad bacteria you were trying to get rid of. It's a digestive paradox in a plastic tub.
That's it, exactly. If you have to have yogurt, it has to be plain, full-fat, grass-fed, organic. But honestly, kefir is a much better choice.
You also found a really fascinating high-tech hack, something about a specific microbe.
Yes, this was amazing. Research shows you can use a specific microbe, L. reuteri, in a home yogurt maker to create this super concentrated dose.
And what does that do?
It appears to not only reduce SIBO, that's small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, but it also seems to increase oxytocin.
Wait, the love hormone, so you're saying a specific bacteria can make you less stressed and maybe more social?
The gut-brain axis is a powerful thing. It's not just a gut fix, it's a brain fix.
Okay, let's talk about mistake number 3, the balanced diet trap. I have to admit, I hate that phrase.
Me too. But when I hear balanced diet, I just picture a plate that looks vaguely healthy, but tastes profoundly boring.
It's the advice everyone gives. Eat a little bit of everything. But why is it so bad for your gut?
Because for decades, a balanced diet really meant a low-fat diet. And if you take out fat, you have to replace those calories with something.
Carbohydrates.
So many carbohydrates. We're talking 45 to 65% of your total calories. And that high carb load aggressively feeds the wrong kind of bacteria, which causes all that fermentation and bloating.
You're just fueling the fire.
You are. The counter advice is blunt.
Yeah.
You have to lower the carbs. A lot, down to around 10%. You're essentially starving out those fermenting microbes that are in the wrong place.
You evict the bad party guests. Which brings us to mistake number 4. Superfood shakes.
The Instagram classic.
Yeah. Blending up kale, spinach, some fruit. It looks so vibrant. And then 3 minutes later, you have to undo the button on your pants.
It's the sheer density of the fiber. That immediate bloat is your small intestine just getting completely overloaded with material. It can't process that quickly. The fermentation starts almost instantly.
So we need to upgrade our definition of a superfood.
We do. If you want the most nutrient-dense, easily digestible food with the least inflammatory potential, it's red meat.
Love it. Okay, mistake number 5, and this is a big one. Whole grains. Why is modern wheat in particular such a villain?
Because it's a completely different animal than what our grandparents ate. It's been bred for high yield, not for human digestion.
And the problems are where?
2 main areas. First, it's incredibly high in gluten, a protein that's almost impossible for our bodies to fully break down. But second, the bran, the whole part, the fiber, is loaded with what we call anti-nutrients.
Anti-nutrients, it just sounds like self-sabotage.
It is. The biggest offender is phytic acid. When you eat it, it literally grabs onto minerals in your gut, zinc, iron, magnesium, calcium, and blocks you from absorbing them.
So you could be eating nutrient-rich food, but the whole grains are stealing the nutrients before you can get them.
Exactly. And on top of that, you get oxalates, which can cause issues in the kidneys, joints, and of course the gut.
Okay, we've covered the food myths. Let's move on to the chemical errors. Mistake number 6, antacids. This one is completely upside down.
It really is. You feel that burn, that reflux, and you think, I must have too much acid.
So you take something to lower it. Makes sense.
Except the reflux is usually caused by having too little acid.
How does that work?
There's a valve at the top of your stomach. It needs a very strong acidic signal to clamp shut tightly. When your stomach acid is weak, that valve gets leaky, and the small amount of acid you do have splashes back up.
So the antacid relieves the burning, but it's making the root cause, the low acid, even worse.
Precisely. We forget how strong our stomach acid is supposed to be. The pH should be between 1 and 3. That's like battery acid.
And we need that to what?
To do 3 things: dissolve protein, absorb minerals like iron, and most importantly, to sterilize your food and kill off nasty microbes before they get further down.
So weak acid means undigested, non-sterilized food hits the small intestine.
And then you get a huge fermentation party. SIBO, bloating, the whole mess. An alternative like butane hydrochloride can actually help restore those acid levels, fixing the problem instead of just masking it.
Which leads right into mistake number 7, low-fat diets.
The other chemical disaster. We spent decades demonizing fat.
And in doing so, we shut down a critical process.
Fat is the trigger for your gallbladder to release bile. If you're on a low-fat diet, you get a lazy gallbladder and you produce less bile.
And why is bile so important?
It has 2 jobs. 1, it helps you absorb healthy fats and fat-soluble vitamins. But its other job is even more important.
Which is?
Bile is your gut's heavy-duty detergent. It is highly antimicrobial. It kills bacteria and keeps them from setting up camp in your small intestine.
So let me get this straight. Low acid means microbes get in.
And low fat means there's no bile detergent to clean them out.
That is the perfect, terrifying recipe for SIBO.
It is. I think of that story about the goat with the big distended stomach. For a goat, that's normal fermentation. For a human, that kind of bloat means fermentation is happening in the wrong place because your defenses are down.
Okay, last one. Mistake number 8. The good guy massacre. Antibiotics and colon cleansing.
Antibiotics are lifesavers, but we have to respect their power. They are not selective. They kill the good bacteria along with the bad.
And your microbiome never fully recovers, does it?
The research suggests it's permanently altered. You lose diversity. And, of course, overuse leads to resistant superbugs. So if you absolutely must take them, you have to have a recovery plan.
Immediately supplement with good probiotics.
Immediately. And on a related note, colon cleansing. It feels clean, but you're flushing out massive populations of friendly bacteria, which can often lead to constipation later on. It's better to just fix the diet and let your body detoxify naturally.
All right, that was a heavy list of mistakes. Let's pivot. What actually does help? What's the good news?
The good news is we can heal. We have to feed the colon cells themselves. And you know what their favorite food is? Butyrate
And where do we find that?
in butter.
Hmm.
High-quality grass-fed butter is fuel for your colon cells.
More fat, more healing. I like it. And what do we feed the right microbes now that we've starved the bad ones?
They love polyphenols. These are compounds in dark, colorful plants. Think dark chocolate without the sugar berries. Coffee, cacao, extra virgin olive oil.
And if we want a quick probiotic boost without the sandpaper fiber,
Sauerkraut juice. Just the juice. It's a serious dose of probiotics, all pre-digested. And of course, kefir is always an excellent choice.
I think one of the most interesting things we found was the link between the gut and things you wouldn't expect, like your skin.
Absolutely. Chronic skin issues like acne or eczema often clear up when the gut is fixed. Because the inflammation isn't just in your gut, it's systemic, it's everywhere.
But the ultimate surprise, the big environmental hack that we always forget,
The sun.
the sun.
Yeah, research is showing that sun exposure, the full spectrum, not just vitamin D, actually helps regulate the gut microbiome. It also increases melatonin production inside your cells, which improves your deep sleep.
Which is when your body actually does all that repair work on the gut lining we've been talking about.
It all connects. It's an external, simple helper we never think of as a digestive aid.
It's incredible. So much of what we do, thinking we're fixing ourselves, cutting out fat, lowering acid, loading up on fiber, is actually just compounding the damage.
The main takeaway is this. Restore your body's natural defenses. You need strong stomach acid and enough healthy fat to produce that bile detergent. If those two things are working, the gut has an amazing capacity to heal itself.
If your stomach literally needs to be acidic enough to dissolve a carb battery, a pH of 1 to 3, and the actual sun is a digestive aid, what does that tell us about the difference between modern health logic and just profound biological reality?
It tells us we've been looking in all the wrong places.
What other simple external things are we missing? It's time to rethink everything we've been told.